What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video, and I wanted to talk about episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett without diving too much into spoilers. I'll try not to. I want to talk about the Naboo fighter that made an appearance in episode 5. And it's been really interesting to see what's happening on the secondary market for a lot of these episode 1 Star Wars toys that a month ago or even 2 weeks ago they were going for nothing, and now they're skyrocketing in price. So I thought I would show you what's happened to the Naboo fighter, the episode 1 Naboo fighter, before and after episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. It's been really interesting to see what's happened. And I thought as part of that, we would take a look at some other really cool episode 1 toys that I kind of did some research on. I had no idea about some of these items, and they're really, really cool. And some of them are quite valuable, actually. So let's dig in. The first one I wanted to show you is this one. This is pre-episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. We had this one, which was the Naboo episode 1 Naboo fighter. And so, you know, a week or two ago, this was a $40 item max. This was mint and sealed box, right? And pretty incredible that it was going for that price. And after episode 5 happened and the Naboo fighter made its appearance, all of them sold almost immediately. And now they're going for big money. So this is, the rest of these sales are post episode 5 in the Book of Boba Fett. This was just a snap kit. A snap kit sold for $63 plus shipping. And then for the actual episode 1 electronic Naboo Starfighter, what was $40, this one is still going. This is an auction that's still going. 37 bids. It's now at $200 plus $25 shipping. So $225. That auction is still going with 3 days left. Here's another one for 2 loose ones. This one's got 2 hours left in it. This one's $200 plus $21 shipping. Here's another one that's just ended. This one sold for $153 on 29 bids plus $10 shipping. So you can see for one that's already sold for $153 plus shipping versus now where there's ones that are still going, we're at $200. So they've really jumped up in price. They've gone up about 5 times in price. Here's another one that sold for $165. Here's one that sold for $350. So we've gone from about $50 to $60 to $350 in less than a week. So it's just hilarious what people do. They see something on the show and then all of a sudden things jump. And I thought it was just the comic book market, you know, with Chrysantan, as we saw, all of his first appearance comics tripled overnight. Well, apparently it's for action figures too, because this Naboo Starfighter is all of a sudden the hottest thing out there. And I just thought it'd be funny. Now, what are some other cool items as related to episode 1? You know, when you think episode 1 toys, you think, they're not really worth anything. They're not worth collecting. There are some pretty rare episode 1 items out there, or if not rare, highly collectible, just based on some of the prices. And one of the more rare items that I didn't know about, but I kind of did some, very half-hearted research. Apparently, Tiger Electronics, which, the Tiger, if you guys know them, they've been known since the 1980s, maybe 1990s, for handheld electronic games with little mini screens on them. And apparently, they did produce a very limited number of these handheld episode 1 games. This was a Sith speeder game, and you can see that here. It's like it looks like, here it is right there. It's got Darth Maul, and it's got some controls there with a little mini screen where you control the speeder and things like that. So they're always kind of very rudimentary in terms of the gameplay. But because these were produced in such limited numbers, people do collect these. And this one sold for $500. $500. So very, very difficult to find these, apparently. And the only other one I found was this Naboo fighter game. This is another one that's very similar to the Darth Maul one. It includes like a little action figure of some sort that you set on top of the Naboo fighter and kind of do the controls for it. That one sold for $250. So so those are if you happen to see these at like a whatever flea market or like a yard sale or something, grab it, because apparently these are worth some money. This was another item that I did know about kind of half-heartedly, but I think these are also items that were produced in fairly low numbers, similar to the Tiger Electronics stuff that it's maybe not the best quality stuff or the most exciting, but because it was produced in such low numbers that people do collect them now because they're just hard to find. And these episode 1 2-packs fall into that category. So you got a number of different ones. You got a Qui-Gon Jinn with Battle Droid, R2D2 Yoda. The Battle Droid was packed in with a number of different characters, and these 2-packs were kind of a way to build up not only getting the original, a cool hero or something like that, but also build up like an army of droids. And so these 2-packs were not produced in big numbers though, and this one sold for $450. It was 7 different droid 2-packs, kind of army builder 2-packs, but it was $450, best offer accepted for these. So these again were just not produced in large numbers. After the fact, but these are kind of Black Series figures. This was an entire set of 6 Black Series 50th anniversary Lucasfilm figures. We got Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, Jar Jar Binks, the Battle Droid, Darth Maul, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So these are all Black Series figures. So these are recent releases, but I thought I would show them while we're in the process of showing other episode 1 figures. But this was $400, best offer accepted for those. So those 6-inch Black Series figures on the episode 1 card backs are pretty popular. Another one that I knew was kind of expensive because I've always kind of loved the way it looked. I was like, oh, I'd love to have one of those. And that's the Royal Starship, obviously Padme Amidala's silver kind of starship. And that one came packed in with like one of those battle droid type of vehicles. These sell for $300. I've seen them sell on the low end for about $200, all the way up to about $350, depending on the box condition. But here's another one. This one was a really nice mint and sealed boss example. That one sold for $270 plus $70 shipping, $67 shipping. Here's another one that sold for $212.50 plus $75 shipping. So this is one that, because of its size and because it's just a really cool design to the ship, that's a pretty high demand episode 1 item. Some other episode 1 items that you don't see very often apparently are these micro machines, kind of play sets. There's a couple of them that do command pretty big money on the secondary market. One of them is this one. This is the Micro Machine Trade Federation Droid Control Ship featuring Neomodian Commander. That is a serious mouthful. That's a lot going on there. But this one apparently was not produced in high numbers either, because that one sold for $275 on free shipping. So again, it's just another item that I had no idea that these things command the kind of money that they do. But there's 2 different Micro Machine Theed Palace playsets, believe it or not. There's not only one, there's 2 of these things. There's one of them that's the Theed Palace Assault, and you can see here the details. It's a really cool kind of playset that kind of captures that scene where, Queen Amidala and kind of all the other Naboo royal guards and things like that, they're trying to recapture the palace, and that one sold for $400. And then there's also this one, which is just called the Theed Palace playset. So there's a Theed Palace, and then there's a Theed Palace Assault. This one sold for $250 plus $20 shipping in an auction. Another really interesting one, this was a test market product. So apparently Hasbro considered releasing smaller than normal size figures for Asian markets. You can see the Asian writing on the card backs in the upper left-hand corner of each of these card backs. And in the middle, this was a standard size 3 3/4 inch figure, droid, to show you how small these figures were. So these were kind of like miniature figures that they were going to release for in Asian markets. And so they were kind of all of these are kind of pre-production prototype test products that they were going to use to test out the market. And here's the back of the cards. It's got Chinese language on the back. But anyway, these are all test products. So apparently they were tested in China. They failed miserably, so they never actually released them. But you can see how small they are. This was sold for $270, best offer accepted. So I think that's a really cool thing to pick up for a pre-production failed product that just never actually was released to market. So pretty interesting item there. But anyway, for all 8 of those, someone picked those up for $270, best offer accepted plus shipping. I would have paid that all day long for kind of a rare prototype episode 1 item. And then I wanted to finish it off with what typically happens with a lot of this episode 1 stuff. It's just none of it really amounted to much value. And so somebody sold off their entire episode 1 collection for $320 with free shipping. So that just shows you that the vast majority of this episode 1 stuff didn't really amount to anything in terms of value, at least so far. But at least with some of these other items that I showed you, there are some kind of rare production items that are out there, as well as pre-production and kind of test market items that just never saw the light of day, that I think are worth kind of keeping an eye out for if you're into episode 1. That's all I really had for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Please leave a like. Please comment below. Thank you again, and I'll be back soon.